YouTube, Glow Yard Game. Podcast listeners all over the globe, God. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cap and Crown, episode 8. RIP to Kobe. Listen, man, it's the show that we talk about things that we like, things that we don't like, evolving the game that we love, man. That's the NBA. Got a good one for y'all today, man. Y'all already know how we do, man. We just being here shooting the breeze, man. Got a special guest with us today. We got a man that's probably the luckiest guy on the planet right now, man. He covers a team for a player that we both love, man. So I'm sorry, we don't love him. That's what I heard earlier today. We was hating on the guy, so that's what I was told. But anyway, we got a shout out to this guy here, man. Like I said, man, good friend of ours. Was the one who helped us start our clothing brand, man. When we did the the I Was Tolds and the other things when we talk Mavs, Court Kings, all that good stuff. So we definitely got a shout out, man, to our guy, Empire Jeff.
Hey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up, Jeff?
What's going on, fellas? Happy to be here, man. Thank you for the invitation, as always, man.
Always a pleasure.
No problem, man. We had back-to-back Laker fans on the show, man. What's going on with that, man? I swear, y'all, that's not scripted, man. It just happened to be that way. You know what I'm saying? But check it out, man. We're just glad to have Jeff on with us, man. Chop it up, talk about some old school basketball here for a little bit, man. Touch on some topics here that have come down the pipe here over the last few days. And we're going to definitely get into it, man. Fellas, y'all ready, man?
I am.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. But also, too, guys, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, man. Join us here for all NBA conversations, whether it be new or old. And also, to everybody, hit that like button. Let's get the likes up for us, man. Help us build that algorithm up to find more NBA fans like yourselves. All right, fellas, let's get to it, man. Y'all already know how we start the show off, man. With this segment that we that we coined the phrase of I was told.
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 So, Kenya Martin had an interesting conversation, man. Talking about growing up in Dallas, playing basketball in Dallas. I know there's different cultures when it comes to different cities and stuff around the country and how they perceive hooping. So, I being from Dallas, I knew exactly what he meant. And I've always wanted to ask this question, man, because I've been to other cities in hoop before. I don't know if y'all know about the whole game of 21.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what Kenya Martin said. We play here in Dallas, bro.
The bitch word where I'm from, get you punched. I've seen it on the basketball floor. Playing 25, y'all play 21, we play 25. Playing pickup, 25, playing throw up football. Throw up football, instead of 21, we go to 25. It's hard, bro. Yeah, you go back to 19 and all that shit. Listen,
but 20, you added 4 more points.
Absolutely.
Why? Just
hard,
to be
I don't know. Just
to
we
be
play.
better than LA or California?
I had never been to California before this point, Nick. So how would I know about what y'all y'all was doing out here?
Who made that up? Like, what made y'all say, you know what, we ain't gonna do?
I grew up in it, Nick.
We're gonna go to 25.
When I picked up a basketball at 10 years old, they was playing 25. So maybe you should go do it
I have
first.
never heard anybody play
never heard
25
that phrase.
So
before.
you grew up playing 25. When you saw somebody say, let's play 21, did you have an idea what they
No.
were talking? Like,
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's...
But
I
then
didn't
did you make
question
them?
it.
Oh,
Did you
you
think
didn't
they
make
were
them play
soft
the
for playing for
25?
I didn't question. No, how? That's the way they played.
Did you choke them?
Wait, but you said you had to go back to 19 from
If you
when?
gain point, like you free throw, you get
Yeah,
5 or
you
something, you got
missed,
20.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to go back.
What is it?
24 to 19?
19.
You go back to 16 or
Which,
is it 15?
I'm not sure.
So yeah, man. He was just letting them know what we do here in Dallas. Because I remember when I went to play basketball in a few cities out of the state, and I said, "Are we playing 25?" They didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, "In Dallas, we play 25." I thought everybody played 25. I didn't even know. I went somewhere one time, man. They played 30s.
We play 50.
Okay, it was y'all. 'Cause I remember I went to Washington D.C. They said something about 30. We played 30s. I'm like, dang, that's a lot.
We play 50 over here.
Oh, okay. So if you hold on, so you missed a free throw, what do y'all go back to?
You don't use the 2s and 3s. You got to make the 3-point shot, or like it's a certain point that you get, like call it ice or whatever, to get like you start putting people out.
Hold on, so y'all don't do the free throws?
No. So you get to a certain amount, you gotta get to 50 points. You go by 2s and 3s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then once you get to like you got to make ice, which is like once you get to 50, you got to make a bucket or whatever like that. And then it's like from damn near half court. Once you make that, then you can go individuals. You can choose people and you can put them out.
Ah, dang, I had a whole different game.
Yep.
I'm gonna say we had 25 here in Dallas. Like he said, you know how if you score, you shoot the free throws or whatever till you miss. So if you end up with 24. You miss that free throw, you go back to 19.
Yeah. Well, we
21, you go back to 17.
Mm-hmm.
We don't score like 2s and 3s. They were 5s and 10s. So
yeah,
that's how we scored.
Yeah, we did 2s and 1s.
Yeah, we did 5s and 10s.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 2s and 1s. Yeah. So that's crazy, bro. Yeah, I remember I remember doing that, man. One time we was in. Matter of fact, it was in Washington. I remember a dude telling me. We was in DC. The dude telling me they played like 30 or something like that. I'm like, dang, we played 25. I feel like it's
all game, basically. I think the same game. It just changed the way you score.
Yeah,
that's usually the way it is.
Yeah. That's true. But yeah, you got so in LA, Jeff, y'all got 21.
21. It's just 21.
21. Okay.
21. I mean, if the game of that 21, there's other basketball things, but 21 was basically it. Obviously, everyone, if they played horse, right? But 21 was 21.
Yeah, 25 with that game when you get ready to play a real game. You play 25 to get warm up. Yeah,
that's to get warm up before you like choose your team and all that. That's what 50 was. Like everybody go out there, somebody win 50, and then we start choosing.
The person who wins it be the first to shoot, and then everybody else shoot for the
choice.
Yeah.
Somebody else choose to get to shoot against them, get to choose against them. Yep, same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, man, shout out to Kenya Martin, man, D-Town's finest, BA's finest. Yeah, just want to kind of show that to everybody, man. Because like I said, I remember being that kid that played in other cities, and I was like, they didn't know what I was talking about when I said 25. I never heard of 25. Like, what is it?
I never heard of 25 till today.
Yeah, see,
I never heard of 25 or 50. Like I never.
Yeah, I definitely never heard of 50.
Multiple.
Yeah, I've heard 21, but we do 50 over here.
That's crazy. That's a long game, boy.
It's not. It's 5 and 10.
Oh yeah, you did say that. Yeah, it's right.
That's it.
10 shots. Yeah. All right, man. Let's get to this next topic. But before we do that, man, what was that brought to you by, King?
Fanatics. This I Was Told segment is brought to you by the folks over at Fanatics. Fanatics is the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love the most, including WWE. You can earn fan cash to redeem when your orders, jersey protection for when your favorite player is traded or changes teams. They also have an unrivaled selection of authentic fan gear and Fanatics exclusives that are only available on the site. So if you need some merch and are interested in helping the channel, scan the QR code on the screen or follow the link, which is always in the description.
Yes, sir, man. Phil, let's turn the page here, man. Y'all know the season is now officially over as far as the regular season. So, awards and stuff are going to be coming down here about time to pipe. One of the major ones, or if not the major one, is the MVP race. So with the MVP race coming to an end, I think we'll have the answer to who the MVP is by the second round of the playoffs. Guys, thank you, man. What about the other MVP races throughout the years, man? Like, how close were these races? We're gonna kind of go over here. Years 94 to 2004. All right. So let's get to that real quick, fellas. Let's see what we got here first, y'all. Check it out. It's King's favorite matchup of all time right here. We got in 94-95, the MVP race. We had Shaq versus David Robinson. So I don't know if y'all remember, but this race here was that the one that Shaq ended up killing David Robinson? And because he ended up winning? No, that was what was it? No, I'm thinking of Hakeem.
No, that's Hakeem Olajuwon, yeah.
Yeah, it's Hakeem, yeah. But I feel like Shaq brought this up before though.
Shaq dunked on David Robinson All-Star game like something stupid.
He did in the Laker game too, something crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And did he say too that he didn't like David Robinson?
He said that David Robinson said something to him when he was young. It was a fake story or something.
Snubbed him. Yeah, he made up a story about when he was young, growing up, and he was in San Antonio because his pops was in the military, and he was his favorite player, and tried to talk to him, and he snubbed him, and he ran with that story for like 10 years, and then admitted it was a lie. Shaq did stuff like that, man.
So he pulled a Garnett, pretty much. What you trying to tell me? He pulled a Garnett.
Oh, he made it public though.
Oh,
Yeah.
super public. And then Dave Robinson always like, I didn't even know who he was. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah. Like,
yeah, Dave Robinson thinking like, did I? I'm sorry.
So in this year, man, of course, the first place votes, David Robinson got it, and then he got 73, then Shaq got 12. So I'm guessing in this year, I guess if I can remember, I think David Robinson probably did deserve it this year.
I'm not mad at it. I think they probably gave it to David Robinson more of being a vet and all that, and Shaq just being the younger
That was
guy.
Shaq's second, or like second or third year.
Yeah,
so I 92.
I don't think they were ready. Like in hindsight, you maybe could have gave it to Shaq because that's the year Shaq and made it to the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that was Shaq balling year.
Yeah. So
that was the Orlando Magic's best year.
Yeah.
That was probably might have been Shaq's best year as an Orlando Magic. That's the year that Penny took off. He took off. They came out like crazy.
That's the year they beat Jordan now?
That is the year they beat Jordan. It's when Jordan came back, won the 4-5.
Jordan won 95-96.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was the year that they went to the finals, faced Akeem, and they had pretty much game one in the bag, the Nick Anderson thing, and it just all fell downhill from there. But that team was a.
Didn't they get 60 next year too? Though next year they won more games I think the next year, but Chicago just had the number one seed, right?
Yeah,
I want to say they won like 64.
I think they won 60 something the next year as well.
They were strong, but that year it felt like it just felt like they were going to be like the next dynasty. They were going to win it all, and they were going to be the next wave for the next 10 years, right? That year probably is what ended the run. was that year.
I tell people all the time, like Shaquille O'Neal, this is Orlando Shaq. That's Orlando Shaq right there. Like,
quick, agile, nimble Shaq.
Look at the number. That's Orlando Shaq.
Bruh. Like I said, it's like his second or third year in the league, man. He was doing that. He wasn't even like just really that Shaq yet. He wasn't even that peak Shaq yet, bro.
Yeah, that's not even nowhere near. We're going to get to that, but that's not even nowhere near where he's next on the list here.
50%. Stupid.
Yeah, you right, Jeff. He is going to be on this list at some point. Speaking of on this list, his teammate was one of them too. I mean, come on, bro.
Nah, that's easy, bro. That's
72-10. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know how Penny got 2 votes. I guess because they won him 60 games that year, or whatever. But nah, bro. That's
and Penny took that next level too, man. He took that next step. That's when he was starting to get the shoes, the recognition, all that stuff, the commercials and all that stuff. Yeah, the little penny, all that. Yeah. And which is crazy. I always tell folks, I know King always asks me all the time, like, who's the second best in this time? And I was like, bro, growing up, I didn't know who the second best guy was. It was just Jordan and everybody else. I didn't even know that Penny was second in the MVP race. I did not know that. Why? Because you had Jordan being Jordan. It's like you already knew who was going to get it. And so, my favorite player growing up. So it's like, I had no idea.
He should have got unanimous. They just gave Penny them votes. Somebody got him, huh?
It's just 2 people didn't like Jordan. Was one reason Penny got those votes. But Penny was filthy. I think people forget. Like the injuries made him forget how filthy he was. Those few years that he was healthy in Orlando, filthy.
Penny was nice, bro. Like I said, that was my favorite player, bro. I got a bunch of sneakers and everything.
His sneakers are my favorite of all time. The Orlando ones. The favorite shoes all time. I probably got 7 pairs of those shoes.
Dang, I won.
I got them in multiple colors, but the original Orlando colors, my favorite shoe of all time.
Yeah, I damn near got at least one pair of each of his silhouettes. Only one I don't have, I had his rookies. I hate I gave those away, but I had those. And only ones I don't have, it's a phone pods. It's the only ones I don't have. Yeah.
How you not have phones, man?
Foams. I got some phones. But the Orlando Penny ones were just.
I don't have phones. I don't like to look on my foot.
So comfortable too.
No, I tried the foam. They were uncomfortable to me. But yeah. So that's a given right there. Jordan, 30 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So that was a given. Like Jeff said, that was the 72 and 10 year. So
yeah, that was winning everything like that year.
Hey, now this was one of the ones that I think a lot of people were kind of scratching their head on right here.
Yeah.
The 96-97 year when you had Karl Malone versus Jordan.
Yeah, this was.
It's because Jordan didn't shoot 50% that year, man. That was that was the only reason why I'm sad because he didn't shoot 50%. I'm just making up something. Real
Yeah, Jordan got robbed this year. He got robbed.
It should have been. They were tired of Jordan.
That's
they had
exactly
damn near 70 wins again, bro.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. They just fatigued.
That's the best 2-year run ever, right?
Yeah, those 2 years were.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had 72 and 69.
69, yeah. He averaged 70 and a half or whatever. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, that was more fatigue, trying to spread the wealth because Jordan could have won it all throughout the 90s, really.
Yep.
Yeah, 71. Yeah. That's crazy, bro. Yeah. It was fatigue. That's all it was, just fatigue.
But Malone had a great year. That team had a great year. They made the finals, right? Obviously, but the voting for this is done before we know who gets to the finals, right? So if you're going just off the regular season and what they did and records, like you said, the 2-year run and everything they had going, and that team was going through it that year. If you guys watched The Last Dance, like you guys saw, like that the last couple of years, like that year and then the '98 team, right?
Yeah,
those last 2 years were pretty brutal on them, and Jordan still got busy and went ballistic. I think he was was he 34 at that point? 34 in
30,
this year?
Yeah, he was 34 that year, 35 that last year.
I mean, I just think, I think it was just voter fatigue, right? And then
and it's because they were so close. Like Utah did get 64 wins. That's an awesome season. You feel what I'm saying? So I think it was fatigue, and because they were so close, it was like if Jordan got 69 and you got 64, like you legit. So they were just finding a reason to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, that was a crazy year. Both of them got over 60 wins.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop there, fellas. They made up for it the next year. 97, 98. Of course, I know Jordan had 92 first place votes, and then Karl Malone had 20 first place votes. So that year, Jordan won 62 games that year. They both won 62 and 20 that year. So
you know what's wild? I'd rather it should have been in the reverse. I'd probably been okay.
Yeah.
If they'd have had it the other way, where Jordan won it last year, and then it went 96, 97, and then Karl Malone won it 97, 98, I think that would make more sense to me.
Because if you think about it, I mean, being objective, Karl Malone got you 27 and 10.
Yeah, and more shooting.
Yeah, and shot better from the 3-point line that year.
And shot better from the field. Jordan, that was actually one of Jordan's like
worst, yeah.
Yeah, as far as field goes. I would have been fine if Karl Malone would have won that one. Obviously, he wasn't the better player. But looking at those numbers right there, and they got the same record.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably team was really good that year.
If you put a blindfold over the players and put a silhouette, I'd have picked Karl Malone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, bro. Like I said, I'm with you. They should have flipped it. Last year should have been Jordan. This year should have been Karl Malone. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I agree. That's crazy. They both had 60. I think I remember them both having the same.
Yeah, because remember Utah got the home court that year. Because they got 60.
They did?
They beat you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 98. Yeah. That's what Jordan hit the shot.
Game 6, Jordan hit the shot.
Brian Russell.
It was 2-3-2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure about that. Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking like, no, game 6 would have been in, but that's today's game.
Yeah,
would have been like that. Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Karl Malone again, man. It's King's favorite center, boy.
Yeah. This is Lonzo the lockout year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that 98? Yeah.
Tim Duncan should have won it. I don't even think either one of them should have won.
That was his rookie year, right?
Rookie year, yeah.
Second year, right? Second year.
No, yeah, second year. You're right. I'm sorry. He got drafted in 97.
Sorry.
Yeah,
he won a championship. He's the best player in the playoffs by far.
Yeah, they played the Knicks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It didn't matter.
Did you bring this up one time?
What, the Karl Malone?
No, Alonzo Mourning almost winning the MVP.
Yeah, I told you that year, the lockout year, when he almost won it. It don't really matter though, bro. It does matter. It is what it is, but it's the lockout year. Like, that was a crazy year. The Knicks went to the finals.
Yeah,
that's before the play-in and all that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
say, man, shout out to that boy Allen Houston, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, shout out to Allen Houston.
Yeah, Larry Johnson had that 4-point play.
Had that 4-point play.
These MVP numbers kind of phony. That's because it was a half year.
Yeah, 50 games. Because
Alonzo Mourning, that ain't MVP numbers. Like, I no knock to Alonzo Mourning. That's not MVP numbers. That was because it was a lockout year. Karl Malone, that was one of his funniest years.
Yeah, those are definitely not. I mean, Miami Heat was their defense was incredible. Yeah. So I get it, like defensive player of the year, defensive first team. The fact that he was the runner up for the MVP is wild.
Yeah, and that was Karl Malone getting towards the end. He just stole another one.
That was the last one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was him at the end, still another one.
Man, now listen, this next one right here, I know y'all remember this one. Man, you're not unanimous first place votes for Shaq, 120-0 over Garnett.
Wait.
So
I thought Shaq didn't get unanimous.
Yeah, I didn't think he got unanimous.
Yeah, there was one. Fred Hickman had him as Fred Hickman.
I think Garnett had the one.
No, Iverson had the one.
Oh no, you're right. It was Iverson that took his vote. You're right.
Yeah, because Steph was the first unanimous MVP.
Could have been. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Fred Hickman.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Fred Hickman. Hated.
Yeah.
On Shaq.
Steph is still the only unanimous, right?
Yeah, he is.
My knowledge, yeah. Now
hold on. So Jeff, you trying to tell me that they was both with their feelings?
I was told that they were both with their feelings. Yeah.
Shaq should have definitely been unanimous that year.
And I can tell you something though. See, I was front and center for this year. I went to a lot of games, in that stretch, and that was in my lifetime. That was the most dominant, not the most skilled. And obviously, I saw MJ's. I didn't see early. I didn't see MJ going buck wild in 84, 85. I didn't see his assassin years. I saw his refined years. I saw all of Kobe's years, assassin, refined, everything. I saw everything. I saw Shaq. I saw beginning to end. I've seen LeBron's whole run. I never saw Wilt, right? But the most dominant force I have ever seen in my life was the 99-2000 Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep.
And it was not even close. Not even close. He wasn't even in Orlando shape. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't in peak shape. He just was that dominant. The most disgusting display of dominance I've ever seen in my life.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. Oh, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna ask him a real quick question. So, what was a better playoff run to you for Shaq? Was it 2000 or 2001?
Well, the record was better in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was better in 2001. The team was probably better in 2001. They had the confidence, they could beat it. So I would say, for my personal favorite, it was going to be 2000, just because they got over the hill. It was Phil's first year there. Kobe came of age. Shaq was dominant. There was a lot going on in 2000, and 2001 we expected it. Right. 2000 we were still hoping for it. So for me, yes, it's 2000. That was of my era of Laker fandom. That was our first chip, right? So to get that first chip since 88, right? 12-year gap for the Lakers at that point was kind of unheard of. So right. That when that hit, the city just went crazy. It just went crazy. So I will go 2000. I would go 2000, followed by 2001. 2002 almost gets slept on.
Bro, 2002, one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It kind of gets slept on because they were expecting it at that point. Let me tell you, when they won in 2000, and sorry if we're going long on this one, but
no. This is what we're here for.
In 2000, it was like, oh my God, we did it. We did it. Mm-hmm. 2001, we went back to back. I'm telling you, in 2003, when they won, I went outside and it's like it was nothing like 2000 and 2001. They expected it. They took it for granted. You know what I mean? But 2000, when I tell you, man, like they didn't have LA Live yet. They didn't have that whole Laker run, that whole Kobe Shaq Lakers built a whole area outside of then Staples Center, right? The whole area. That was a parking lot. If you go back and you look at the 2000 parade It's outside of Staples Center, and there's a parking lot where all the fans are. I was there. I was in that parking lot.
Yeah.
It's now LA Live, right? So it's like that whole scene, the whole thing was crazy. That was probably the most special time in my Laker memories. So for me, it's 2000, just because we just got Phil. Like I said, Kobe had taken the leap, like to elite status that year. There was a lot of things going on. That team was still having issues. They still had beef. You know what I mean? There were still some issues going on. That's the year that Kobe got into it. Was that Chris? That was Childs in 2000, right? It wasn't really that. It was Chris Childs in 2000. A lot of people don't know the story about that. That fight that Kobe had with Chris Childs probably saved that year, because it gave the team something to rally around. They came to the defense of Kobe. Those guys, there was a lot of separation in that locker room until that fight. And a lot of people don't know that. And that's kind of what bonded that team together. Phil used that as an opportunity and just never looked back there. But that by far, y'all, the most dominant I've ever seen in my life. He should have been unanimous.
You said not Doug Christie catching Rick Fox?
Nah,
he accidentally hit him. He was trying to move his arm out the way, bro.
Yeah.
But I was going to say two things. I agree with you, Jeff. The 99 to 2002 run of Shaq that's the best peak I've ever seen. I include Michael Jordan and all. Shaq was a cheat code. I hated LA and the Lakers because of Shaquille O'Neal, bro. It wasn't about like Kobe is great and all that stuff, but Kobe was like, they were talking about him. I remember me talking about him with my friends with like the Vince Carters, the Tracy McGrady's. Like, could they do that with Shaq and all that stuff if you put somebody beside him? Because at that point, Shaq was just Shaq. Like, it just felt like, what the hell, bro? So, man, I most dominant player I've ever seen. I'm taking Shaq against anything. And like I said, that I think truthfully, the 01 team, like you say, 2000, y'all waited forever and you finally got the championship. That 01 team, I think y'all won 55 games and it turned it on in the playoffs and lost one game or whatever. Bro, that team right there, that team.
Yeah, step back, step over. Yep.
That team and the teams they beat, y'all was sweeping the Spurs, the Sacramento Kings, all like the teams were amazing. I think that team is a top 3 team of all time. Like between Golden State, Chicago, 96, and that team right there is in my top 3 of all time. That 2001. I think they were literally the definition of hitting the switch. Literally, just saying, bro, this is easy. We just turn it on and we're gonna win it.
Yeah. Oh man, what about the 06 Cavs, bro?
06 Cavs.
Wait, the 06 or 07 Cavs?
I said,
07.
Okay, 06.
The LeBron and Boobie in them.
They lost to the swept by the Spurs Cavs.
Yeah.
Say, bro, don't be doing that to Boobie like that, man. Second option right there. Don't do that, man.
Well, I'm going to tell you, though, as a fan, to be a Laker fan in that year, every game, it's kind of like how it felt to be a Dodger fan right now. It's just to have the most dominant player in the game on your team, unquestionable. That was just the amount of confidence you could talk your trash with. The amount of confidence you could talk your trash with, knowing you had Shaq.
Well, they discredit Shaq, and they always say he had no competition. And I'm like, no, it ain't that. The rest of the league was trash. Is that Shaq made him like that? The Dikembe Mutombo was a defensive player of the year that year when Shaq went against him and made him 6 fouls. Like, these dudes were just 6 fouls against Shaq, and it was like, it's just a different beast, man. Like, I've never seen nothing like Shaq. I don't know.
Mutombo,
morning at that point. He basically sent him out the door. He said, leave. That's what he told all the old guys.
The next slide, I'm sure we're going to talk about that, right? Because it's 2001. But there is what he did to those teams. And you talked about in 2000 what he went through. So and he caught these teams on the come up, because each year those teams kind of won another round. So like in 2000 they had the Kings in round 1. Yep. In 2001 they had the Kings in round 2. In 2002 they had the Kings in round 3. Right, and it went backwards for Portland. In 2000 they had Portland in round 3. And then Portland, they literally, I think the thing that gets overlooked is how they destroyed the Trailblazers.
Yep.
That win in Game 7, that team was stacked. That team was crazy.
That was the most deep team in that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did that to multiple teams like that. They did it to the 02 Kings. They did it to the 2000. I mean, people always talk about that 2002 Kings team, and deservingly so. But they don't give any credit to that 2000 Blazers team. That team was crazy. When you go back and look at that roster, That team was crazy. And it's like, if not for the Lakers, that team probably, they could have easily been that back-to-back team.
That changes history.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen goes to the finals again.
Yeah. And they should have, right? And if not for just, but and it wasn't
Robert
even
Horry.
like, it was Brian Shaw and like Robert Horry and like dudes in that fourth quarter of them. They were down 16.
Yep. And
then Portland just felt the turn. Like was it 13 or 14, whatever, straight missed shots? Like
it was 13.
Yeah.
13. And then that block that Kobe had on Bonzi Wells.
We played that game on Playback, matter of fact.
Yeah, I watching that game live, going into that fourth quarter, thinking, here we go again. Here we go again. Lakers, baby, just a different day. Like just remember thinking that. I was like, oh man, not this year, man. Not this year. And I correlate that 2000 Laker team to the 2024 Dodger team a lot. Just because that's how it felt in the San Diego series. I know we're switching sports real quick, but like when they got down, it felt like, man, here we go again. And the same thing. Wow. And then it was like, that's just what did it. And when they knocked off that Portland team, I thought we were going to have to deal with Portland for years to come. To come. I thought that was going to be the next like major rivalry in the West. And that loss just destroyed them. I think they traded for Sean Kemp the next year, right?
And they traded Steve Smith for Derek Anderson. I remember that too.
Yeah, they traded because they had traded Ryder for Steve Smith, right? Ryder and Jim Jackson for Steve Smith. Steve Smith was on that team. Yeah, they did trade him for Anderson, and then they traded for Kemp. Yep. And then Pippen, while he was on it, called it the dumbest trade in history, right? So that they freaked out, and then they traded. They did though come up on that Jermaine O'Neal trade though.
Yeah, they did.
They traded away. I'm sorry, Indiana. They panicked and sent for the Davis brothers, right? So it's like, so they panicked on a lot of things. So they destroyed that 2000 team.
Dale Davis, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They got Dale Davis for Jermaine O'Neal. They got like a 30-something-year-old dude for like a 19, 20-year-old dude.
Yep.
And Jermaine O'Neal wanted to have an all-star in Indy, right?
Yeah.
I said came up. I used the wrong words. I mean, like they were tripping. Like they panicked.
I meant the other way. I know what you meant. Indiana.
They literally gave Indy a come up, right? Yep. For the next 10 years. But they traded for Sean Kemp. You're right. The Derek Anderson. There was someone else. Who else did they?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head who it was.
But they just blew it up, and it just was never the same after that. And that Portland team probably had at least at bare minimum a 2 to 3 year title window. And that 2000 season, the Lakers killed them.
They traded. I want to say they either traded Bonzi or Ruben Patterson around that time too.
No, they still had. I feel like they still had both of them.
I feel like Patterson got there later, didn't he?
Yeah,
I don't think Patterson was there in 2000. He got there later
because Bonzi was there, and Ruben got there. Yes, Ruben got there later.
Bonzi did get traded, and then.
So what was the year he was talking Noah to Kobe? Was that 02?
That was later, yes.
That was later.
That was later Kobe and all that, yes.
And when Kobe hit those ridiculous shots, that was 2004 to go like the force overtime and then the game winner. But because Brian Grant was on that team too.
Oh yeah.
They traded. Yeah. So that team was so stacked, man.
Yeah, man.
I know we spent a lot of time on 2000, but it's because that team was so special and it kicked off a three-peat, so they deserved it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Shaq only got one. That's crazy.
That's a whole other topic for another day. Him and Kobe both only have one.
Yeah.
Check this out, man. The 2000-2001. Y'all already know who won this year.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson, man. Let's see. Allen Iverson was carrying, he carried this, and this to the finals, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that was a year that they literally swept all the awards that year. Coach of the year, sixth man of the year,
defensive player of the year,
defensive player of the year. Yeah, so they pretty much swept all the awards, and then damn near got swept in the finals.
Yeah.
Did y'all think Tim Duncan deserved it that year, or was it straight Iverson?
No, it was Iverson, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, like you said, what he carried, what he had, getting to the finals.
Yeah.
Playing hurt, size. A man, that doesn't happen in today's NBA. A man that size does not get to the finals. Like Isaiah Thomas, like Steph, I get it, but he's bigger than. And
they were first that year, right?
They were first that year.
Yeah. So
defense was incredible.
Yeah.
If you think of at the top of my head was starting out was Eric Snow, right? Iverson, George Lynch was on that team.
Yeah, Aaron
Yeah,
McKee was
George
on the bench,
Lynch, yeah.
right?
Aaron McKee was
Yeah,
6 man off the bench.
6 man a
Man.
year. That year.
Dikembe
Mutombo.
Mutombo and Derek Coleman, right?
No.
Coleman.
Not there, come on there yet. It was crap.
That
I had it.
Coleman
I
there yet?
had it.
I
Nah,
thought
it wasn't him.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was
It was. I almost had
Tyrone Hill was there.
Tyrone Hill
He
was
was- he
there, yeah.
He was the backup 4.
Raja Bell was actually on that team. He was a youngin.
Yeah,
I think Jermaine Jones was on that team.
Jermaine Jones was on that team.
Jermaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jermaine Jones.
Who was
Let's say you
who's the other backup guard? They had a backup. But when you say those names, it doesn't sound like a finals roster, right?
We just watched that game too when they played. Was it Vince Carter King in Game 7?
Yeah, Vince Carter Game 7, yeah.
Oh crap! I got the.
It wasn't Derek. Ratliff got traded for him. So no, Ratliff was
I think he had braids.
Why is it slipping my mind? I don't want to go.
Light
To, I don't want to go to Google. I don't want to do it.
I know. I'm trying. Yeah.
Right, as soon as you say it, I'm like,
I'm like, oh yeah. Wait, what was Jermaine Jones the 4?
That's what I'm thinking. Was it Jermaine Jones?
Jermaine Jones, I think was the 4 because George Lynch was on that team.
No,
George
you know
Lynch was
what?
on that team, but he had a stress fracture, right?
Yep.
George Lynch.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, got
I was just
injured,
about to
yep.
say that. So he was a 3 then.
George Lynch was a 3 at
Yep.
that point. He was the former Laker. He was so.
No, I mean, Jermaine Jones was a 3 then. Maybe it was Tyrone Hill.
I think Tyrone Hill was the starter.
It was
Matt
Tyrone
Geiger
Hill.
was out too.
Because they was talking about him making the jokes about him smiling all the time and all.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
Tyrone Hill. It was Tyrone.
Yeah, it was Tyrone Hill.
Because I know Matt Geiger was a backup center too, but he was out too.
Yeah, it was Tyrone Hill.
And then Theo Rattler was a backup center. That's what it was. It was Theo. But yeah, Iverson. No disagreements on that one.
No.
I know this is a year me and King bring up all the time. The 01-02 year. Jason Kidd and Tim Duncan. Listen, I will go to my grave with this one. I really believe Jason Kidd should have won MVP that year.
Yeah, I believe Jason Kidd should have won that year.
What he did for that team, right? That was it's hard because it's funny, we said here, we talked about Zoe's number for MVPs, right? And you look at Jason Kidd, if you just look at stats, it's really hard to argue for it, right? But because we were there, we know the impact of what was this team before he got there, right?
Exactly. 20 wins.
It's because Steve Nash should have got an MVP, but we're gonna get there, and Jeff ain't gonna agree on that one. That's why I feel like Jason Kidd should have got an MVP because he should have got one. But yeah, it's the impact of the team, bro. It's what you change in the team. He was a straight point guard. He was giving you 10 assists damn near. So he was control. You look at the rest of the roster. How about that one?
Yeah, but when you look at it, when you look at a 10 assists, that's a minimum of another 20 points. That's like 35.
Hold on, y'all just gonna sit here and disrespect Keith Van Horn like that?
I'm sorry.
What's up, man? Don't do that, y'all. Come on, man.
Let's go down the list again. It was him or Kerry Kittles was on that team, right?
Kerry Kittles.
Lucius Harris. McCullough was there, right?
Yep. Todd McCullough.
Yep.
Aaron Williams was there too, right?
Aaron Williams. Yep. Lucius Harris was the backup point guard. Former Mav.
Who was the other dude? Yeah, Lucius Harris was there. Who was the other?
Wait, Jason Williams went on next year, right? Jason Williams. Was it? No, not Aaron Williams. What's the boy name? Collins.
I think Aaron Williams was on the team.
I think Collins was there.
Yeah, Aaron Williams was on that team.
I think Aaron Williams was there. Yeah, but I think Collins was there. Yeah, because what's his name? Byron called him twin all the time. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That team was not.
No, Jason Kidd's impact. Like I said, if you just look at stats, you think that those are not MVP numbers. But if you looked at that team before he got there and immediately got there and the impact that he made, he had an MVP impact absolutely on that team.
Yep. Let me ask you a question, Jeff, because we had this debate on here before. What's your idea of an MVP?
So I know a lot of people. Mine is, to me, I wish they had MVP, the best player in the league, but they should have something else to that because I think people get it mixed up. The best player for the guy that is most valuable to his team. So when I think of an MVP, it's someone like what both of these guys did for their team, because Tim Duncan could score, but there were years he averaged 21, 22, and it felt like he gave you 40, right? Someone like Jason Kidd, someone like a Steve Nash, someone like a Kevin Garnett, someone like a Dwight Howard, like these guys. It is Orlando years, right? You have this guy, Grant Hill. When you have these guys, while healthy, these guys on your team, you're guaranteed to go to the playoffs. You're guaranteed to probably be a top seed. even with a subpar roster. That's an MVP to me because he elevates other people. Like elevates other people, makes everyone about him better. Magic Johnson MVP, Larry Bird MVP. Like these guys, just playing with them raises your talent level. And if the best way to judge an MVP is look when those guys go play with someone else.
Yes.
And the decline. That to me is how you determine a most valuable player to his team because he does a lot of the heavy lifting. And then you look at their record when they're out. And then that's what an MVP does, right? Now, a lot of people misconstrue that for the best player on the team or the best. And a lot of times the MVP is the best player on the team, but doesn't necessarily mean they're the best player in the league, right?
And they had just switched out it was a Starberry for Jason Kidd, right?
Yeah, he went to Phoenix and swapped it up. Yeah,
Jason Kidd was
yes. And
it's crazy because both teams that Starberry went to, they both won 20-something games on both of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
He had 150 on both of those teams.
And you said that the guard that came right behind him won the MVP, Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Or was up for an MVP. Jason Kidd went to the finals twice.
Yep.
Well, what's I about to say? Now, I was wondering, bro, because you always get the people with the lazy takes that say, best player on the best team, and but like you just said, it's not always the case.
No,
because you take Jason Kidd off of that team, bro, and they win 20 games.
Yeah.
You take Steve Nash off of that Phoenix team, they're winning 20 games, and it's proven. It showed that. But when you put both of those players on those teams, look how they elevated the teams, and they don't have to, like you said, they don't have to go out there and score 100 points a game. It's just their impact and what they bring, the tangibles that they bring to the team that elevates their team that show why they should be MVPs.
Yep. MVPs get teammates paid, gets coaches paid, get all this right off their contribution to the team. Everyone makes money, right? That's an MVP.
That is true.
Damn, hold up, Tim Duncan assisted turnover was trash that year.
I know that.
I'm looking at the little stuff I'm like, you see that? He got 3.7 and 3.3. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I wonder why they. What I said? Wait, was that the year that Ginobili won Finals MVP?
Ginobili won Finals MVP. Parker won Finals MVP. Parker won Finals MVP. Ginobili never won.
Okay, I'm tripping.
Duncan has
Duncan
three.
got 3.
Yeah. Parker has 1, and Kawhi has.
Oh, Kawhi. Okay, that's right.
The other one.
Okay, I thought that was like long hair Ginobili, bro. That's when he was a beast,
bro. Ginobili at one point, bro, was that dude. I keep trying to remind people of that.
His rookie year when he first came over, he hit the scene like crazy.
No, you know what? 03 Ginobili was stupid.
Yeah.
03 Ginobili was stupid, boy.
That's the year they went to the finals and won.
Yep, won the chip. They stopped y'all. Mm-hmm.
No, that was 02. I'm thinking of. Never mind. I bet that's the year we had Dirk got hurt, bro. If he didn't get hurt. Also, too, fun fact, I think that was also the year that Jason Kidd was supposed to get traded or signed with the Spurs. They were going to trade. They weren't really sold on Tony Parker. He talked about that before. Matter of fact, he talked about that at his Hall of Fame speech. He talked about the fact they wanted to get, and I remember that too. I was like, I did not want the Spurs to get Jason Kidd, bro. I did not want to get Jason Kidd. And
you think that's better in hindsight?
Free agency wasn't it free agency?
Yeah, free agency. Yeah.
And they were thinking about signing and trading, moving Parker for him, right? And there was a real debate over. We know who the better player is, but that's the better fit for the Spurs and the age and fitting everything there. And
that's what I was going to ask you. Do y'all think, in hindsight, was it the best move, or would they have won more if they had Kidd?
I think their window would have been shorter.
Okay.
I think they probably still could have won.
It's the Spurs at that time. It's the Spurs. I think it either way would have been. It would have been.
Then they won back to back with Kidd.
Like
that's a good question.
Yeah, because they never won back to back. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they never won back to back. Probably.
But that team doesn't stretch out to 2014.
No, hell no.
Like it did, right? So what I'm saying is like Tim Duncan's. Maybe they win back to back, or maybe they even three-peat, right? So maybe the legacy is there, but as far as the stretch of that dynasty is nowhere near as long. But they may end up with the same, or may end up close enough in chips. But I think they made the right move. I think they made the right move.
No, I agree with Jeff because at that time, Kidd was 28.
Yeah, because Kidd, we won the chip in 2011 with the Mavericks.
Yeah, and he was 30.
He at least stayed around to that to be a decent player. You feel me? Like he wasn't Tony Parker though.
No, because remember Tony Parker at that time was like 20. I think.
Yeah.
No, when
He's pretty
no,
young.
yeah, he was 20. He was I think he got drafted the year before. He was 19. So yeah, you're right. That would definitely would have kept their window there open, like you said, all the way up to 2014 when they won another championship. So, but yeah, man. Speaking of Tim Duncan, man, this race, the 2002-2003 race, was Garnett and Duncan. Of course, Duncan had 60 first place votes, and then of course Garnett had 43. Garnett ended up winning that next year.
Yeah.
So
I was fine with this one.
I mean, I was fine with this one too.
I was fine with this one. He was 9. He was 9 games ahead of him, even though he was a number 2 seed, and I was fine with this one.
And that's the year we both won 60 games. Dallas and Spurs, 2002.
No, that's 2006, right? That's 06 where the Mavericks won 60 games with the Spurs when the Mavericks put them out in the second round.
Okay. Oh no, I thought they won in that year too in 03.
No, 03 they didn't. I don't think they had 60 in 03.
That was Nash. That was Nash last year, right?
Yeah.
No, 04 was his last year.
Oh yeah, 04.
Yeah, 04.
Jason Terry came right to that. Yep, you're right.
04 was his that. Wasn't Van Axel there?
Yeah.
So no, that was that. Nash's last year. He signed as a free agent with Phoenix in 2004.
Yep.
Yeah. And
the only reason I know like the date is because that's exactly when the Phoenix offered Kobe the money first. He turned it down. They immediately pivoted to Nash.
Mm-hmm. But I was fine with this though. I was okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. This last but not least, Garnett and Jermaine O'Neal. This is a no-brainer, bro.
This is a no-brainer. That year that the Timberwolves in 2004, if not for the Lakers, oddly enough, I think Minnesota could have hung with that Detroit team more than the Lakers did, just the way they were built. The Lakers imploded. So we got to talk about that for a second though. But this probably could have been unanimous in my mind. Like probably could have.
He shout out to Jermaine O'Neal. They had a great record and all that. Like it was more of a team. I feel like over there, it was a team on Minnesota as well. But Kevin Garnett, that was his year. I felt like look at the numbers. He had 5 assists that year. Like this was KG year. But I thought y'all should have beat Detroit. So I think Minnesota could have beat Detroit too. Minnesota was nice that year.
Yeah, I think they could have been. I just everything just kind of everyone looks at the names on that 2004 Laker team, but they don't look at the age. They don't look at they don't look at a lot of
was 40
that year. It was Kobe's trial year. Kobe and Shaq were probably at the peak of their beef.
I blame Kobe for that one, Jeff.
A lot of you say you blame. Well, I mean,
blame Kobe for that one.
Well, I hear you. Well, I don't know if you. Well, I don't want to say I don't know if you know, but that Shaq did a lot of things wrong in the beginning of that year.
Mm-hmm. I remember he was all out of shape. I think, but what I feel like is that's the year where Kobe finally it started. I think he outscored Shaq that year, right? In 04, whatever, in the regular season. Was that the year where he actually did? So he was taking his step.
Because Detroit kind of mentioned that. They said they knew that he wanted to
try
to go for
he wanted to go for the Finals MVP that year when I felt like it was a year ahead of time where he should have just
he was
let
chucking
Shaq
too many
just
shots.
last one. Yes.
That team they couldn't defend. They couldn't stop him defensively. Malone was out. Sure. You had guys hurt. They also had look at the names: Horace Grant street clothes, Karl Malone street clothes, right? Gary Payton was in the middle of the finals. Like he was so bad that year for the Lakers.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just Kobe, but I feel like it could have been more competitive. Like that's one of the ones on Kobe where I'm like Kobe, that dude. But that's I feel like if he could do it over, and I think he said that before. That's the one where I'm like, man, I think about that.
They weren't playing for each other. Like Phil didn't like there was a lot going on with that team that year. But they what's so frustrating is the path that they beat the Spurs that year. Mm-hmm. They avenged that loss right against the Spurs.
Is that the Derek Fisher game winner at the buzzer series?
I think
it was. Yeah,
I think it is the one that changed the time. Yeah,
we lost. Yeah, that's what takes away. That's what separates that shot from the Ori shot because we lost that year. But that Minnesota Timberwolves, I mean, Troy Hudson was playing like a Hall of Famer against us. Like he had no answer for him. He was just
shout out to Troy
Lakers. Spreewell had a great year with them. Zerbiak,
Sam Cassell.
Cassell was just ridiculous. Garnett, but then a lot of people don't know is that their center is kind of how Kobe got in trouble. Remember Rasho Nesterovic?
Rasho Nesterovic. Hey, that was Stephen A's favorite guy. Rasho Nesterovic.
So in 2003, when Kobe did that ridiculous dunk in Minnesota on Nesterovic and got fouled, that's when he hurt his shoulder and goes to get surgery and all, you know what I mean? So, but that Minnesota Timberwolves team, I think, that was probably history could change there. Maybe he gets a chip in Minnesota. Maybe he doesn't leave. Like, there's a lot of things. The Lakers broke up a lot of history. And changed a lot of history, right? But that year, people look at the names. I'm not that Kobe guy that doesn't hold Kobe accountable. I'm not that Kobe guy that doesn't acknowledge a lot of some of the stuff he messed up on. I'm not that Kobe guy that doesn't that I've talked about it often. I wish he was a little bit more older Kobe earlier. Showing the young players doing this, but he couldn't take it to that level of wanting to kill you if he liked you or if he let you in. Like he couldn't do it, right? So he would go into this character almost kind of like MJ, right? He would go into this character, and once he realized the winning was over, and he kind of opened the curtain, right? That's when everyone like got to kind of see. I don't want to necessarily say the real him, but I think people got to see the layers to him, right? And I feel that because the way he came in was always told he can never win without Shaq. He can never it was always these. He'll never be Jordan. You can't win without Shaq. Phil tried to get you traded. All these things, and I think that that 2004 there was a divide there too. Like I think a lot of people don't really know. Like Karl Malone was a bug in the ear of Kobe that year.
I was happy y'all didn't win because of. Y'all had Karl Malone. I was like, thank you.
But like he kind of egged that on a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like so. And then Kobe and Malone had a falling out because like right. So it was just a lot that went on with that and just blew up. They dudes flew home on separate planes. Like it was done. It was done. The fact that they made the finals that year with everything going on was crazy enough. But the KG had one of the greatest seasons. That might have been. I think that was probably. I know 2008. He's going to get a lot of credit, but I think that might have been his best year. He was phenomenal that year on both sides of the court. He had just added the 3-point to his shot like a year before that. Remember, like he was stepping up and hitting that, and my God, he was.
I agree. That's That's the best year of his career.
Yeah,
I think that in the Celtics and all that, like he won a championship and all. I don't think he was like a bona fide. He wasn't the bona fide number one on the Celtics. You feel me? It was like he was number one, but it was.
He was our defensive captain.
Like
but not that
he was the dude on this team in this year. This was his year.
Made us agree.
I best say it's funny y'all said he stepped out to the 3-point line. Somebody put together this little compilation of clips of him shooting your favorite shot, King, them long twos where your heel
over his head,
is on the back of that. On the back of that.
Always do that, bro.
Hey, bro, just step back 1 foot. Yeah, he hit him. Yeah,
the Tatum shots.
It's like Dwayne Wade, bro. Dwayne Wade, if he has a foot on the line, he automatic. As soon as he stepped behind that 3-point line for some reason, bro, it's like
DeMar.
Yep, DeMar DeRozan. Yep.
There was these dudes who just could not. It was mental. The 3-point shot just couldn't. And there were dudes who just couldn't make like mid range, right? But could kill from 3 all day. Like they couldn't. Like it's so weird how that happens, right? But you're right. Like KG's long twos were crazy.
Jordan used to do that too. When I was a kid, so I wondered like why he won't just step back 1 foot and just shoot a 3. He's always shoot them long 3, but the line is right here. He's like barely in front of the line. It's like, bro, just step back 1 inch and just
a wasted point, bro. I hate him.
Yeah, I just hate that, bro. Like, man, and that's why analytics kicked in right there. It's like, you know what? I'm sick of y'all shooting these long twos when your heel is on the back on the line, bro. If the back of your heel is on the line and you shoot these long threes, bro.
Jason
Kidd, long twos or whatever.
Jason Kidd he used to try to shoot threes and shoot twos by mistake.
Like, remember, what he used to do? Remember, he used to shoot a bow leg, try to get that foot past the line, like back on the line. And he still had that pinky toe.
He turned himself into a good, like at the end. Like you remember that year they tried to bring the 3-point line in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it just clogged the paint so damn much. And like I remember watching, because that was the year when Van Axel was on the Lakers. I just remember seeing like the key just looks so damn small. Like
by the end of Jason Kidd's career, especially when he was with the Mavericks, he was a knockdown spot up shooter. Like I expected him to knock down the somebody's wide open, like Jason Kidd gonna hit that.
He was damn near like 40% every year. That's it. What is it, like number 5 all time in 3-point makes?
Something like that.
Which is crazy.
Crazy that happened.
Yeah,
it's crazy because I remember he came into the league. He called him Ace and Kid. He had no J.
He came in the league like, you know, it was like like Rondo or like these dudes that just, you know, that just couldn't shoot, right? And then they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. And guys just like Westbrook, right? Like you're like they'll never figure it out. And then some guys do, some guys don't. But Jason Kidd legitimately turned himself into like you got to rush at him. He's gonna make that. He's gonna make it.
You remember when Russell Westbrook had that unstoppable mid range, like stop and pop though, run and then like just jumping. What happened to that?
To left or right elbow. It was never in the middle. To the left or right elbow.
He with that head, he just pull up.
Stop on a dime. Just hang there.
Just hang in the air and just hit the shot. Like he used to hit that.
Just catch it. He would kill the Lakers with that, man. He'd kill us with that. And it just
he killed you with that playing against you and for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I said I'm a New York Giants fan too. I'm like, man, we in both my teams waited got the wrong Russ 10 years later. I was like, man.
Oh man. Shots fired.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. We can probably turn the page here, man. The next segment is all dedicated to King here, man. And you already know what that is, King. Pause. Well, let's see what Rich Paul got to say. Get him, King.
That's not the end all be all. I always love a big 2. I don't really love a big 3. I don't really. People talk big 3, but the big 3 thing has never really worked. And you say, well, what happened in Miami? That wasn't really a big 3. There was 3 guys that went in the lottery and they did really well individually on their team. So they put up big numbers and had big accomplishments. But when you think about it, Bosh was the ultimate professional. He took a back seat and he played a role in which, because he had such a high IQ and he was such a professional as an individual, his approach to everything is what made that work. When you look in Boston, okay, you can say Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce was a big 3. Again, thinking about names, but the way that offense was ran, Rondo's capability during that time, it was a lot different. When you seen people go for that, it never really worked. And I've had this conversation with several different, owners of teams and having this.
Go ahead. What you got, King?
You got to pause. First and foremost, big 3. First and foremost, they got to stop disrespecting Chris Bosh. Just in general, like Chris Bosh did take a back seat, but Chris Bosh was that dude, a perennial all-star before he was even on 25-10 guy before he was even on Miami or whatever. So that's disrespectful. And I love LeBron, but as I always say, I understand why people dislike LeBron because they always try to control narratives. So you try to like increase what LeBron has done while decreasing others. And I knew he would say, well, about the Boston Celtics, they were definitely a big 3, especially that first year when Ray Allen got there. Ray Allen was up there towards 20, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett all split the pie up. That was a big 3. We just saw the Golden State Warriors have a big 4 at one point with Klay Thompson still able to get 20 with KD getting 25 and Steph getting 25 and Draymond as well. I don't get it. LeBron has had a big 3 in Miami. I think that was probably his best as far as team. That's why he's the only team that he repeated with and went to the finals. You feel me? 4 times in a row with doing that. So Cleveland had a team together and all that. Kevin Love was a part of a big 3. Like Kevin Love was able to get you 30 and 20. You feel me? With Minnesota and all, like he didn't make a playoff run and all that. That's why I understand that part, but still don't diminish other guys to bring up LeBron James. It doesn't change it. Great teams, you need a great team to win a championship. That is what it is. He did what he did, but Rich Paul, you got to stop that, man. Chris Bosh gave a lot, and when LeBron left the team, Chris Bosh was the number 1 scorer on the team.
Oh man,
with Dwayne Wade there. So let's stop playing. He got another max contract because of that right afterwards when Pat Riley gave him that contract. So he just got to pause, bro. Stop doing that. Bron is who he is, but we don't need to try to diminish other people to make him great. He is great.
What you got, Jeff?
He took a lot of the points I was going to make. So good job there. I just the machine. I always called it the machine. The machine is at work today. The machine is at work. The LeBron machine is at work. And I agree with King. It doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to. But part of the machine is kind of suppressing other people to make him great. But the other part of the machine is just to keep the name out there. Keep talking Bron. Keep talking. Whether you love it or you hate it, you keep it talking about it. And they've mastered that, right? This is what they do. They want you to they talk to the LeBron haters and they talk to the LeBron lovers. They just do that, and it's brilliant. We're talking about it right now, right? So it's brilliant. But I agree with everything you said. LeBron was on a big threes. He went to 8 straight NBA finals, and I think only 1 year in that he wasn't part of a big three, and that was the year that Kyrie demanded a trade, right? Yeah. So outside of that, 7 of 8 years he was a big three. Chris Bosh was a legitimate Olympian, right? Yep. All NBA first teamer. Right. He was not a he was a professional. He did sacrifice his role. He did do that. But he was if Chris Bosh stays on Toronto, like he's a superstar for like 10 years. Right. He's taking that team to the playoffs every year. Guys are going to play there with him. Like he was a stud. He was a stud. His defense for that team and him being able to step up in areas for that team is what helped them do it, right? So diminishing these guys, Boston absolutely was a big three. Golden State, like you said, big four. That Cleveland team, big three, right? And I get it. Like I don't know if he's trying to convince Kevin Durant that the big three doesn't work anymore. That's what he's trying to talk to there. But to say that LeBron never had a big three, that is crazy. The Brooklyn team was a big three. Yep. This is these
Phoenix.
Were big. The Phoenix. I feel like Phoenix got the big three a little too late. But name wise, big three. But Bradley Beal's a bucket, but that's it, right? And if you have him playing point guard and they just did it wrong. Like I blame Kevin Durant for every big three he's ever had outside the Warriors, right? I blame him because he's trying to force it. Now we're going a different direction, but he's trying to force it because I feel like Kevin Durant believes the only way he could ever win is with the big three. He saw LeBron get rings in a big three. His only rings are in a big four. So he doesn't think he can go with just one other star and win. He doesn't think he can do that, right? But if you look at what was the last big three championship? 2018?
The Golden State Warriors.
2018. 2019 wasn't a big three. Lakers in 2020 weren't a big three. The Bucks weren't a big three. The Warriors in 22 weren't a big three. The Nuggets in 23 weren't a big three.
Warriors? No, because Klay Thompson
no.
wasn't there. Klay Thompson wasn't.
No.
You're right.
They weren't a big three. And in 23, Denver was not a big three. They had a very deep team, very good team. And last year, the Boston Celtics, they had a deep team, but they didn't have a big three. They didn't have that third, like this is a surefire all NBA first time Olympian talent. No. And so I think guys confuse former all-star with superstar or all-star with superstar or perennial. Like this is a topic that I think deserves almost its whole show. Right. The level of player, because the superstar label is watered down so much that I hate is a strong word, but I really dislike how many players get labeled a superstar that are nowhere near a superstar just because they're an all-star.
Okay, Jeff, you give me an idea, Jeff. Okay, go ahead.
That's why I don't want to go too deep right now because I got all kinds of names for these levels.
You got
all kinds of names for these levels. So
my level of superstardom, I'll tell you right now. We can move on. If you got to be able to lead a team to a championship.
Yep, best player on a chip team.
On a championship level team. If you can't lead them to a chip, the object of the game is to win. If you can't do that, you ain't a superstar.
I got 3. Best player on a chip team, or we're going to the finals just because I'm there.
That's getting it. So like a Luka Doncic. Doncic last year proved to me he's a superstar. He can be the best player on a championship level team. He may not have the best team right then and there, but I've seen enough. You feel me to see that? LeBron James, those guys. I've seen that happen. I'm not even labeling. I didn't even label SGA a superstar yet. He's won one playoff series.
That's what we need to.
Don't yet
take a page out of Kings. We need to pause because this needs to be because I just come up with a list of 50 names. A list of 50. This could be part of the show. A list of 50 names, and the 3 of us, superstar, non-superstar. We're not going to agree on all, We're not going to agree on all. I guarantee you this. And that would be an incredible show because I think the superstar mantra is completely watered down to where I'm campaigning to introduce the new megastar. And these are the guys that need to be separated from superstar. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. These guys are not the same as Devin Booker. These guys are not the same. Like he's labeled a superstar, right?
Yep.
Not the same, right?
So Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. So it's like this would be a great show. So this could be a little tease. Maybe we could use this as a clip to promote it. But outside out of that,
I would say a couple things. What you just said, Jeff. I did do a show a couple years back, maybe it wasn't a couple years back, about 4 years now. I did a show, and it was I had a label. We had labels for these three players or these players. It was 3 labels, either a superstar, all-star, or star.
There you go. Okay.
So when you said that, that's what it brought me back to that, bro. Because like we had the list of players, just let me know if they're.
Gotcha. That's right. Mine is like,
hey, we're gonna bring it back.
Star, sort of star.
Sort of
stars. There's one years on All Star.
When you said megastar, that's what I was going to say too. There is a label that I know we had this conversation off camera in our group chats. The fact that people throw out the word generational. That's one word that I don't like people just throw around just willy-nilly. That's not just because you're a great player does not mean you're a generational player, right? Jordan was a generational player. Scottie Pippen was not a generational player. That's a difference. That's no disrespect to Scottie Pippen. He's still a top 50, one of the greatest players to ever step foot. Like I would definitely take Scottie Pippen on my team, build around him, all that. But you're not a generational player.
We're gonna start debating. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you. The greatest, because you said that generational. It's very rare that the second guy on a chip team is generational.
Yes.
It's
very rare.
To me, there's only
very.
So to me, again, there's so many different ways to go with this, right? But it's like to me, it's very rare. I agree. Scottie Pippen is not a generational star talent player to me. I think that his impact on winning was generational. So maybe it does make it, but I think he was a generational defender. And I think he was better offensively than people give him credit for. And I don't want to take away because they don't win a single chip without him. But it's not like you could just put Mitch Richmond on that team with Pippen and they win a championship. You can't just put. So what I'm saying is, so he's not generational. Kyrie's not generational to me. Playing with LeBron, right? Like you got all these. That's what I'm saying. Like there's all these guys they label superstars.
I feel like Scottie was generational though. So I feel like Scottie's no longer generational, if that makes sense. Because of people that came behind him. I feel like when Scottie was in the league, though, when he was Scottie, he was generational. Like the stuff that Scottie Pippen could do. The Grant Hills and all are all Scottie Pippens. The LeBron James, I feel like they're Scottie Pippen, just a different way of Scottie Pippen when Scottie was doing what Scottie was doing, even Kawhi and all that. But I feel like he's no longer because he started a generation and people have started copying, and there's been so many folks that's probably better than him at doing that. But I felt like at one point, like Scottie Pippen was arguably, him and Jordan were both top 5 players. Don't forget, Scottie Pippen had him getting 55 wins and all that when Jordan was gone, second place in MVP and all that, and All-Star MVP, all that type of stuff that year. Scottie was doing his thing that year. So
let me ask you this. In that span, pre 95, let's say pre 95, who was a better player in your mind, Barkley or Pippen?
Barkley.
Do you have Barkley as generational?
Yes.
Okay. So
Barkley was generational, and so I don't think anybody has became Barkley again yet. So there's been Barkley archetypes, but like even Zion and all of them, but they're not Charles Barkley yet. Because nobody is like surpassed Barkley at being Barkley to me.
So let me
see.
The generation is a good one because a lot of people call that. You're right. Like generational.
Yeah, but I look at generational different. It's always the fact that you're having a hard time finding another this, right?
Well, you found
Kobe, Jordan,
for example, like when people said that like John Morant was generational, right? We had the argument before, and I'm like, bro, I've seen a million small guards that were athletic like you. I've seen that before. Like we've never seen this kind of player before. Like you're having to comb through history to trying to find another guy just like this guy, right? Yeah. And that's how I kind of look at generational.
Kareem was generational.
Kareem, yes, Kareem is generational,
Yes.
but generational to me, there are a lot of
But-
players that fit a prototype. That's what I'm saying. Like, so
Yeah.
there are a lot of people. Ja Morant is like other folks. The reason Ja Morant isn't generational, if he became better than Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook, then he's the generational type of that now. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's now that guy. To me, Charles Barkley, there are going to be Larry Johnsons and all that come. Like, Kobe Bryant came behind Michael Jordan. Kyrie came behind Kobe Bryant. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they all, to me, are part of that. Even Kawhi, as a point, is part of that. Even Scottie Pippen or like Michael Jordan, like archetype and all that. Really, LeBron is Magic Johnson 2.0. He just scores more. Like, he's kind of part of that prototype or whatever like that. Like,
for me, well, like I said, for me, it's not just the prototype. It's like a lot of factors that factor into you being a generational player. It's kind of like what Jeff was just saying about the Barkley and Pippen. Like you saying Pippen is a generational player, but you wouldn't have taken him over Charles Barkley.
You don't got to be the best player to be generational.
I'm not just saying to be the best player. Part of the factors that I'm factoring in when I say generational is what I'm talking about. It's not just like, oh, you play just like this guy. That's not what I mean by generational. It's just like this archetype of this guy, like Jordan, his everything, his clutch, his killer instinct, the way he approached the game, his effective to winning, all that type of stuff. Like the way he came to the, like, you know what I'm saying, just that whole aura. Like, you just don't find guys like that.
I feel like the only
trees every day.
The only players that were better than Scottie at that point were other generational players. That's how I felt with Scottie. Like, so Charles Barkley, I feel like he was generational. I didn't see another Charles Barkley before that. We still trying to find Zion can't be Charles Barkley. Like, I'm not knock on wood, but his body don't seem to be able to be Charles Barkley. Like, Charles Barkley was a 6'4" guy playing point guard, getting 15 rebounds a game. I've never seen that before. I still can't see nobody doing that again.
I think a lot of people remember, like, as he got a little pudgy, right? I don't think they remember just like the surge.
Philadelphia to the Suns. You feel me? When he got to when he was at the Suns in peak condition and all, like, Charles Barkley was a beast. It was Michael Jordan and him. You feel me? That's what Charles Barkley was at. I think Scottie's there. Like I said,
to your argument. That's why I said I agree. Charles, one of those guys I'm talking about. You have to comb through history to try to find another Charles Barkley. Like you said, they're comparing Zion to not necessarily Charles Barkley. You're not that. You might be the same height or whatever, but you're not quite Charles Barkley. Who would you say? Larry Johnson.
Anthony Davis to me is a knockoff KG.
You know, it's funny you say that because I said this while he was a Laker.
He is.
Anthony Davis was never a superstar to me.
He's not.
He's not. He was never a superstar to me because he's not.
Now, I'm not
number one.
With you, Jeff, but are you sure you want to say that?
I do, because I watched like what I'm saying is he can have superstar moments and he can be a superstar number two. He is not a number one. You don't go to the finals just because you have him. You don't win a finals just because you have him. He is a number two. Kyrie. He's a Kyrie and a big man. He's not the guy.
That's why I hate when people say you compare the talent. Like, it's not just about the talent you have, right? Because we can name a bunch of guys throughout history who had the talent. It's those intangibles that you need to be that guy, man.
Is Joker generational?
I'll probably say yes.
Yes, he's generational, right? Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
I would say yes, and I think it's gonna continue to add to it. So yes,
yes.
Think him, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say right now he's that, but we've seen like Sabonis before, right? He's like the absolute version of Sabonis if we probably would have got him.
But we didn't see Sabonis.
That's
we saw Sabonis when he was washed. Yeah,
and
overseas, yes, but
that's what I'm saying. He's a better version of that archetype, though, is what I'm saying. You feel what I'm saying? It's still the Sabonis. We just didn't get it. Joker is that, to me, is what I feel like. Like what Sabonis was supposed to be, we didn't get that, and that's what Joker is right now. That's what they were claiming. They were claiming Sabonis was this player. The guy Joker is right now.
Well,
that's what they
But King, if you're saying that Sabonis was in the 80s, Joker, that's a next gen. That's a whole nother generation. So
it is
generation.
I mean, yes.
Generation.
No, I'm saying Joker is generational. He's better. He's the better
even though he came from that, right? So my thing is like when you sit here and talk, like, is Luka generational?
Yes.
Was Dirk generational?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna run some.
I think Kevin Durant is kind of in the Dirk like archetype. Yeah. That's who Kevin Durant is in. He's just a different. He's kind of Dirk. Like, even when you saw Dirk when he was young and all that stuff, he's better. He's more athletic and has a better like defense and all because of his athleticism and all that. But he's a lot of Dirk.
But I think there's generational. So, like, to me, it's like, then you have to change the name, right? Because then LeBron can't be generational.
He's better.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
when you become the better one, you're the generational one now. You feel? So Mike was kind of Dr. J. You feel me?
Mhm.
And was David Thompson and all that. Like
Mhm.
they still had prototypes. Even Elgin Baylor, they had
Yeah.
prototypes beforehand, but Mike became that guy. So he's the generational one. That's why I feel like
he took
he's
your
the-
prototype and just took it to another level.
Yes, nobody has
So
went past
now-
Charles Barkley. Nobody like
went past Jordan.
Yes, they've went past Scottie Pippen now. So Scottie was generational. He's no longer generational, is what I feel like. Somebody is taking that spot. That's just the way. We don't got to keep going. I know, but that's the way I see it. You're that one of a kind.
Because it's kind of like, it's a fun topic. But I just feel like the labeling of players when you superstar, generational, I think the terminology, it's open to interpretation a lot. I don't think there's any rules. I think people kind of just, like, to me, but some of the guys I always argue, like, to me, Jimmy Butler was never a superstar. Never a superstar. But so many people argue with me on that. He's never been a superstar. In his career, he's never been a superstar.
Jimmy Butler is Reggie Miller to me.
Of that level,
Okay.
yes.
I'm glad you said that, because I know that's your guy and all. Yeah, Reggie Miller. Jimmy Butler's a poor man.
I like it is. I know what he is.
Jimmy Butler's a poor man. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But he gets labeled. He gets labeled a superstar though.
Kawhi's a superstar. He's a poor man. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Kawhi, just injuries and all stop. Kawhi's that dude.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I've watched Kawhi play since he was 8 years old.
He's not generational.
He's not generational.
No. He's a superstar though. But he's a superstar. He
wasn't even that great. Like, he started. He was just, even in San Diego State.
Yeah.
He was kind of, what was coming. He could be a defender. He could but so I coached AAU for 10 years. The point guard on my travel ball team was his point guard at San Diego State, DJ Gay. So like Kawhi is just, I watched him, and he's never been on my team, right? He's been against me my whole my whole fandom, right? But I root for him because he's a local kid. I root for him to be healthy, right? I root for him to be healthy because I hate to see him. He's paid, his family's taken care of, so he's fine that way. But I just hate any guy that goes down like that. But Kawhi, he has a generational skill set on both sides of the ball because of what he could do if he was healthy. His whole, and you could talk about a lot of dudes like that. Imagine if Brandon Roy stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Like, imagine there's a lot of these dudes that just, like, we never knew, but we got to see enough of Kawhi. We got to see Brandon Roy. We knew what he would be. You see, and then you see the guys that go to early, like a Drazen Petrovic, or guys that, that these dudes that can just go ballistic, right? It's like, that's the thing.
That's why Dame isn't generational to me, because we just saw Brandon Roy. We just saw Brandon Roy before him. You feel me? Like,
so. I kind of piggyback what you just said. I know we pressed on time, but piggyback what you just said though, real quick. Kawhi gave you that generational type of impact though.
He did.
It's just we didn't see enough. Like, I think if he'd have got like a solid 8-9 years, then he'd probably be in that conversation. It's like, okay, he's that generational talent or whatever, because we've seen it. And I think kind of go back to kind of what we always say. A lot of them guys, you can kind of tell off the bat they're gonna be that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we always talk, like you said with the Ja Morant thing. He only scored 20 points, like he's third year in the league. He just got over 20 points the third year in the league. Or when they say Anthony Edwards is Jordan, it's like, bro, if you would have, if he was Jordan, you would have seen that by now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you see those flashes or whatever. But Jordan was giving you damn near 30s rookie year, bro. Like you saw it out the gate. You saw Luka out the gate with all these other guys right out the gate. And so that's why I say, like you said, it's debatable, man. Like people had their own like kind of criteria with generationally, but that's a good conversation though, man.
It's a great conversation. Kawhi, a poor man Michael Jordan though, so he can't be generational.
He could be a super, because like you said, superstar. If he's on your team healthy, you got a chance to win.
He's a superstar.
Yeah, you got a chance to win. But I think he had generational talent and ability.
Yes,
but it never got to be fulfilled.
He looks like Michael Jordan.
Healthy career, 15 years.
At his best, he looks like second half Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he do.
You feel me? So we've seen it before, but that's one of the greatest players of all time. Like, I take second half Michael Jordan over damn near everybody.
Yeah.
Did you not see those numbers on the MVP?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like,
he was still getting you 30 in the playoffs. So I'll take that. Yeah. But yeah, man, that was, like I said, that was a great conversation, man. Great conversation. That's why we got guys like Jeff and them on, man. They definitely know. Of course, y'all know that was brought to you by Playback.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite app, Playback. Back to the show.
Yes, sir, man. Listen, we definitely appreciate y'all, man, rocking with your boys for another episode. We definitely appreciate our guest, Jeff, being on with us, man. If you guys are new to the channel and to NBA content, go ahead and do us a huge favor, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. Join us here for all NBA content. We're here every Monday and Wednesday. Also, too, everybody hit that like button, man. Help us get the likes up tonight, man. Rebuild that algorithm back up, man, to find more NBA fans like yourselves. Also, too, man, if you want to become a member of the channel, join us here on Friday mornings. Simply hit that join button right there next to the subscribe button, man. Become a member of the channel. The perks will also be for not just for this channel, but also for Playback, guys. So follow us here on the channel, become a member of the channel, and the perks will also get you on channel. Here, I can't talk for the channel and for Playback. All right, so there you go. Also, too, man, follow me on my other channel, Cause We Geek, where we talk about all things in the geek culture involving movies and television. We will have a show tomorrow evening for the Daredevil show. We're gonna be doing a spoiler discussion tomorrow. Well, we'll try. Like I said, so we had some bad news in the family. We might be losing a family member here. That's why we kind of keep my eye on my phone. My uncle doesn't have long, so I know Josh just left Will just left the hospital not too long ago. So that's where we at all day today. So we're gonna see. Right now, we're gonna have a schedule for tomorrow evening, but we'll just kind of play it by ear. If not, yeah, we'll let y'all know. But if so, it will be tomorrow evening. We will have the Daredevil discussion tomorrow evening. So, but yeah, man. King, is there anything else I'm forgetting, man, before we turn it over to Jeff?
Share, and more share, y'all. But other than that, Rel, I guess prayers, bro, to you, Will, rest of your family, man. Like, that's tough. Even being told and all that's sometimes the worst. But yeah, man.
Man.
But other than that, follow Rel on his channels. On this channel, I should say, like you said, Cuz We Geek, but follow us also on We Talk Combats, our new like wrestling, mixed martial arts, and boxing channel.
I made it and then edit. I made it.
It's okay. We start on the 27th, the week after WrestleMania. We do weekly recap shows on Sundays, probably around midday, like 5 to 7 p.m. or something like that, Eastern time. And Jeff, the floor is yours, bro. Please tell them what you're up to.
First off, prayers to your family, Rel, man. I'm sorry you guys are going through that. That kind of hits home for me, man. So if you ever need anything from me or anything I can do to help, or if you guys anything you guys got going on, let me know. But first and foremost, I'm just happy to be here. This is one of my favorite joints on YouTube, on Playback. I feel like me and you guys clicked from day one. I love working with you guys. You guys are one of the most professional, put together shows, from the graphics to the flows to infomercial king over here. Like everything going on is just like, it's a perfect show. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here. I listen to you guys, watch you guys all the time on all your platforms. We follow each other everywhere. The support has always been real.
Yes, sir.
I admire what you guys do, and that's why as soon as you hit me, I was like, oh yeah, that's you need me, just message me. I'll pull through anytime. You know what I mean? This is I consider this like a home. I've only been my second time on here, but what I'm saying is like feels like home. You know what I mean? And so you guys always make it feel that way. So thank you to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys all subscribe to all their platforms, man. They do put in tons and tons and tons of work. If you guys don't understand, you think you just go and do your jobs, your 9 to 5s, and you go home. They do their lives. They got everything, relationships, everything going on, and they still make time, sacrifice time from loved ones, even on a night like tonight, which Rel was talking about. Man, you gotta show respect to that, because it's that real for them. And I love being here. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys like what you saw, what I brought to the show, you can find me over at Empire Jeff TV. Empire Jeff TV everywhere, all platforms, IG, TikTok, Twitter X, YouTube, Playback, which I'm finally getting off my behind and getting back to my Playback channel. I cover NBA in general, the Lakers, and MLB and the Dodgers. So if that's your thing, pull up. Got to get you guys on my show. I've been saving you guys for a new segment I'm going to debut. I want you guys to be on like the first one. I haven't like that's the first time I told you guys, but like I want you guys to be on the first one. I've got a good little couple of things I'm building for the shows I relaunch, kind of come back. So we'll talk. But I appreciate you guys, and it's always special to be here.
Man,
Yes, sir.
You're taking all the chips, man, on every sport, man. I'm mad at you, Jeff, but the best LA content, y'all, just in general. Like no lies, all that we dealt with. Jeff is that guy. Like we love Jeff stuff. We love working with Jeff. Like we said, Court Kings, all that stuff. Fanatics. Like Jeff helped us out with Fanatics and all of that. So appreciate you, Jeff, man. Like the feeling is definitely mutual, bro.
100%. Oh, I've been wanting to say, man, I love that intro on your EPJ show too, man. That music. Yeah. But that's so West Coast, bro. I was like, I'm listening to that. I'm like, this dude here, man.
You know what's funny? I went. So I'm this guy. It's funny because I feel like we got to do like a music. I got to pull up one of you guys' music talks, man, because I'm telling you, I mean, me and King have a very similar. Like as we're talking back and forth, but like, I'm like probably the East Coast bloodline in me, like the East Coast like level of but yeah. So I went through. I literally put on headphones and went through all these tracks. Like I handpicked every one of it. I probably listened to 300 tracks to pick my intros. And I have a different intro for every whatever I'm covering. If I'm doing EPJ Sports Night, it's a different beat. If it's Empire Jeff TV for Lakers, it's a different beat. And if it's Dodgers, it's a different beat. The funny thing is, but all three beats I picked the first time I heard them. But I still listen to those other 200 something just to try to find it. just stuck with the ones that I loved out the gate. So I've got a pretty good ear for that. Like a lot of people don't know, I also had an independent record label for 10 years. So it's like it was kind of my element. So appreciate that because that's something I take very seriously. The intro, the music, or the sound on my show, I'm very, very, very picky about it. So like, thank you for shouting that out.
Yeah, because that sets the tone of the show, man, with the music. So I agree. And let me just shout him out real quick. Appreciate you, Robert, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, I've been keeping my eye on my phone, man, just kind of see if somebody gonna text or call me or whatever. So, but yeah, we definitely appreciate you, man. Appreciate Jeff, man. Like I said, man, Jeff, you know you're our boy, man. Whatever you need, man, we definitely there, man. So
appreciate it.
Appreciate you joining us, man. You our second guest. Like I said, I swear we didn't line this up like this, y'all. You just our second LA guy. We did not line this up like this. It just happened to fall. The chips fell where they may, I guess. But you listen, man. We will catch our guys here on the. Let's see. Yeah, so Friday, members of Friday. We will see the rest of you guys on Monday, guys. All right, so we'll catch you guys Monday. Same NBA time, same NBA channel. We out, y'all. Cap and